What do you think is scarier, the idea that we are alone in the universe or the idea that we aren't? Why? That we are alone. Given how massive the universe is in space and time, the idea that Earth is the only place where any life form exists is unsettling. Everyone seems to be assuming that other life means humanoid or intelligent. To me it just means any life form. Carbon-based or made of element unknown to our galaxy. There has to be something else. Let's imagine the life of a cell. All it knows is that it is surrounded by other cells and a small area which it thinks is its big world. I believe we are like cells to the current imaginable universe, in contrast to an even bigger reality. Cavemen had no idea about whales. Whales had no idea about cavemen. Both existed, but neither believed the other existed because their minds couldn't comprehend it. There are more stars in the universe than there are all of the grains of sand on Earth. Many of those stars have multiple planets orbiting them. There is life. Distance and the Great Filter are far more terrifying to me. The idea that we are alone. It gives me a feeling of loneliness and that there is not as much out there to look for. Existence would not be as interesting. Next best thing is to shoot bacteria into space and hope it hits something, then we will have created aliens. Would they still be aliens if they originated from Earth? Depends if they claim citizenship there. I think about the ruins of ancient civilizations on other planets and how absolutely fascinating it would be to explore them. I think the scariest thing is that if an asteroid hit Earth right now and destroyed everything, nothing that we know of will recognize any record of anything that ever happened on Earth. There will be nothing to account for the loss of Earth. So if there's nothing out there to do that, then it's like Earth never existed at all. Scary. Actually, we sent out proof of our existence on probes we sent into outer space in the hopes alien life might find them. They have some cool stuff like a star map to Earth and recordings of various humans. Mathematically there should be life. I think it would be far more frightening that we are alone. It would indicate there was something very weird going on. Yeah, the fact that people are the most intelligent beings in the universe, LMAO. Neither is scary, because if we are alone, then we have nothing to worry about. If we are not, then the sheer vastness of space is a pretty good indicator that we are not likely to ever make contact with another intelligent species. I find it more depressing knowing that there are so many galaxies and planets out there that there must be billions of strange and exotic places that we'll never see or explore. We are pretty much confined to our own solar system unless we develop a technology to skip across time and space, which is scary to imagine. True. How amazing would it be to planet hop? Forget Europe, I'm vacationing in another galaxy. That we are alone. It would give credence to the simulation theory. Given the number of stars being circled by planets that we can see from Earth, let alone the rest of the universe, the odds are laughably small that on one of those distant planets the same building blocks didn't exist. This planet is not unique. Alone. It's theoretically impossible for us to be alone, but if we are the first/last thinking life forms in the universe, that's a depressing thought. Cause that means someday, the last human being will die out, and that will be the end of all progress. Sure, life will go on, but would another species step up and do better than us? Can they? Will they? I guess the not knowing is the worst part of it. The idea we aren't. Basically, any time two entities come into contact there is some kind of power struggle, and the loser is either subjugated or eliminated. The only chance for peace is a coincidental situation, where both parties are at the same power, roughly speaking, to where the struggle is known to be too damaging to all parties such that it should be avoided. That's how I've looked at it. If you look at the world through this lens, that the size of things doesn't really matter, but how it operates, you can sort of see how the universe is all patterns, all the way down. Size absolutely matters. Physical laws work the same way for microorganisms as larger beings, because the cellular units and molecules are actually the same size. We've seen things as big as they can't get. After that they collapse into singularities, so nothing can be bigger than that. Also, unlike microorganisms, we have the capability to see far enough away to grasp things much larger than us. Is it possible that there is another set of physical laws governing some universe, of which ours is just an atomic particle? Sure, but you can literally just say anything at that point. The idea that we are alone, because it would imply that our existence is winning the astronomical lottery and this is all we are trying to do with it. They've had a couple billion years, sir, and the best they could come up with was making memes about a gorilla who was shot. What is this negative nonsense? You type that comment on a supercomputer that fits into your pocket. In 30 years we have cut extreme poverty in half and are living in the most peaceful time in history. You can ascend to the heavens on a chair in the sky and be halfway around the world in hours. We've put men on the moon, found time to create amazing music and film. While things aren't perfect, humanity has done amazing feats for starting a slime crawling out of the ocean. Either way, the outcome is effectively the same. The odds of encountering another civilization are practically zero. I disagree. There's a difference between actually alone and never meeting others out there. To believe that there's life beyond our reach makes me more hopeful than to believe that there's nothing out there at all. The thing is that with the time frames the universe exists, is unlikely we would find any ruins. Small evidence perhaps, but everything will's been eroded by time. Take us for example. The Earth has been a thing for billions of years. If we die now, and some alien life found us, what is more likely? They find us a few thousand years later like we now find Greek ruins. They find us 10th number of million years later, finding nothing but the few remainings of man-made matter that was strong enough to make it. Just a bunch of plastic straws and beer bottles left of humanity.